Namaskar, dosto, and once again, welcome to the D Show. Our guest today is a very senior former civil servant with 4 solid decades of varied experience spanning various ministries and sectors. She has retired from the apex level position and served as Controller General of Accounts, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Her contributions spread over her expertise in infrastructure such as civil aviation, power, port, shipping, and road transport. Also, my dear friends, her noteworthy contributions are in public financial management system, facilitation of electronic payment systems across public sectors, monitoring direct indirect taxes trends and collections, linking the banking sector with government releases up to the grassroots level, including villages, especially the delivery of subsidies. She was also the proud member of the COVID team of Government of India, facing one of the most challenging and unforeseen threats in our country. After many years of nation building, it is our privilege that we have her here on our show. Please join me in welcoming a very distinguished personality who continues to make her nation stronger, Bharati Das. What an opportunity and a privilege, Bharti ji. Welcome to the D Show.
Thank you, Divya. It's a pleasure and a privilege for me to be on your show. I have been watching it, and I want to congratulate you on taking the initiative of starting this series on leadership. I'm especially proud that you have started it on women leadership, and I have seen that you are representing women from different walks of life. And I'm sure that after this show, many women will be inspired to break the barriers and move ahead and take up leadership, and they will start the chain and further motivate others. So I congratulate you and wish you all the best for many more such initiatives. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Bharti ji. In fact, this is the first time in the history of the D Show podcast. We are in the fifth season that I've managed to bring in a bureaucrat, and that too such a senior person such as yourself who's really contributed a lot to our country. So thank you for making the time for me
my,
and for our audience.
my privilege.
So let's dive in because this is 2020. We have to
Sure.
make sure that we capture all your wisdom in 20 minutes.
Sure.
The first question that I would like to ask you, Bharti ji, is people know you as a distinguished civil servant, but beyond the designation and decades of public service, who is Bharti Das that I'll meet over a cup of coffee?
So if you are meeting me over a cup of coffee, it will be at this point of time in life. So I'm retired, I'm 60, and I'm a senior citizen.
Wow.
So, so me right now is reflecting and responsive both. Reflecting over, as you said, almost 4 decades of life and service, and civil service gives you a kind of exposure you cannot imagine. With every new assignment I got, I was surprised at the kind of exposure I was getting and how little I knew about people and sector and the country how it is running. So it's a time I'm reflecting over the life I have lived, people I have touched. Maybe I have
Right.
made some small or big contributions, a little drop in the ocean, which is now kind of developing. There are so many initiatives of the government right now. A lot of people whom I have left because as you retire, there are people who remember you
True.
for very small, may not be personal, maybe a very small gesture, but they remember you. So I reflect on that. It's not looking at anything with regret. It is at looking at the quality of life that I have had and what lessons I have learned and how to live from there. So that is reflecting. Responsive, you see, I also have a little bit of regret of not meeting so many friends, some of whom have left the journey. And
Right.
so responsive is that in my personal time I try to build my relationships back where I have missed. Those who are aging, look up to them, look after the kids in the house. I love to read, travel, listen to music. There's one thing I always missed in life was being a bureaucrat's wife. I was one, of course, but I was an
Sure.
officer. So I never enjoyed the ladies' club and, all the dressing up and other things. So I just want to do it all at this point of time.
How humble of you, and thank you for being so candid with us right at the start of this podcast and, giving us an insight. I think a lot of our audience who would know you only from your office accomplishments and titles, this will be a pleasure to know you as a person, the woman behind the leadership for decades.
So I want to lead
So
a bindas life and
amazing.
be helpful and contribute with whatever I can. That's all
Well,
I
currently, I can talk from my experience. You are just inspiring me more and more.
want.
So please, let's just move the journey ahead because I'm sure there's some more nuggets of wisdom coming our way. So you've served across finance, home affairs, external affairs, health. What did working across such diverse ministries teach you about leadership that no classroom ever could? And I know you come from very prestigious Ivy League institutions, but tell us that one lesson that no classroom or formal education could teach you, and you learned it by your experience.
Working in the government is very different from the corporate sector. It's not like that. You are actually working for the people. You mentioned health, external affairs, home. These are the sectors I work towards later part of my career. In health ministry, I was very much there during COVID. That was a real test of character of everybody, right from the top up to the person at the lowest level, because the
Right.
entire team had to work. The lives were at risk when we were in lockdown. External affairs, again, I was during a period of COVID where people have had to be evacuated, flights had to be sent. It was a big challenge. And home affairs is a ministry which has huge paramilitary. You have
Right.
Jawans, BSF, CRPF, so many, SSB, ITBP. So taking care, welfare of the people, providing them with latest ammunition, understanding what is important, what is not important for them. Having that kind of a human touch is very important. To be able to motivate your people to work hard, to be a team member, and lead by example. And in all this, integrity is non-negotiable.
So
So
nice.
yeah, so you have to also take responsibility at times. When you are a team leader, you have to be responsible, and you have to take responsibility for mistakes of others also. They can make mistakes, but
True.
then it is for you
True.
to handle it. Yeah.
True. No, for all the audience who are watching us, I would like to share that I had the privilege when Bharti ji was in health ministry to just go for a small meeting to her in her office, and the kind of respect that I saw in her team's eyes. And that was my first, experience to be in the power corridors. So thanks to you, Bharti ji. And I understand that you also act as a bridge between the government and the common man.
Yeah.
It is always a delicate balance, I understand.
Yeah,
So
most of us
let's,
do. Hmm.
I want to touch upon the weight of decisions, Bharti ji.
Mhm.
Leadership isn't always about making the right decision.
Right.
Sometimes it's about choosing the best possible one. And I'm sure with the government, you must have had many constraints. So, how do you carry the weight of decisions knowing they can impact millions of lives which may or may not be in sync with your choice or opinion?
Yeah. So, we all stand at a certain threshold of our career. It could be middle level, senior most level, junior level. Decisions in government are made after going through several levels. Several opinions are taken. It starts at the bottom, it goes up to the top, it goes inter-ministry, it goes to the top to the decision makers, it goes to the planners, it goes to the finance ministry, and it also goes to the stakeholders. So there are times when you may think that what you are thinking is right, and what is being proposed may not be the best way you are thinking. But often I have realized that our vision is constrained. Those who are senior to us, those who have a better exposure, they are looking at a larger canvas. At times we are looking at a smaller canvas. So this is at the decision making level. There's another decision making level where decisions are delegated to you,
Right.
and you have to decide. Those are, they may not be major decisions, but they may impact certain people majorly. So
True.
there you have to see, as I told you already, the maximum benefit of maximum people. At
Wow.
times it may leave some people out, but it doesn't matter, because that is maximizing social benefit is what you are there to take care of. Interpret the rules to the best ability within the framework of the rules so that they benefit people the most. Decision making is a team effort, I would say.
First, I want to ask you because you demonstrated amazing crisis leadership because you were part of the government's response during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, what did that period teach you, Bhartiji, about leading under extraordinary pressure?
You see, my our top boss, our minister, my secretary, they were real leaders, and they inspired us in our areas where we were leading. And we had an excellent team in the health ministry. Not even for a moment we thought about ourselves. The only fear we had was of our family, that what if we go back and give them some infection. But when the
True,
entire country was in lockdown, it was like a war.
true,
There were no medicines, there were no masks. India is now leading in all these things. There were no oxy concentrators. Now, we are exporting, we are leaders at that. But at that point of time, the world didn't have as much as it was needed. So they inspired us. But it was the constable on the street who was doing his duty, who was taking the migrants across, risking his life, giving free rations. The doctors in the hospital, I was in the health ministry, doctors, nurses who risked their lives. And all of us, we didn't have food, we didn't have water, we would get whatever we can because shops were closed, everything was closed, there was
right.
nothing over there. But that was a real test of the government, I would say, not just me, the entire team who worked in COVID at that time, right from the states onwards, right in the
Right.
villages, in the states, in the center. Center was, of course, monitoring. And the government's thumb rule was that human life is most important.
So
So
true. But were you affected? Did you manage to catch the infection or were you safe?
I caught the infection from my domestic help in the second wave. First wave,
Okay.
I was absolutely
Awesome.
okay. Yeah.
So, Bhartiji, beyond the designation and authority, were there moments when you felt you had to work harder simply because you were a woman? I had to put this question in.
Being a woman means you have to work harder. The
Of
government does
course.
not discriminate between men and women officers. If your output is good, you get good work. But yes, there are
Right.
some things which are inevitable. For instance, so that bonding, with the officers and spending time together, especially at the younger age, when you have children, it's not there. So that makes an impact on interpersonal bonding, definitely. And then, of course, your maternity leave and other things does have an impact on your career in terms of postings. At times, when the children are growing up, you may get soft postings, even if you don't want it.
Yes.
So, but right now, I would say now the situation has changed. There are more and more women in the bureaucracy. You'll find all around, rather. And the government
Your
also.
times were tougher.
Little
Now it's
tougher.
become more
Yeah,
inclusive.
yeah.
Ji.
40 years is a long time, It has increased over women. Then women have changed over the last 40 years.
Last 40
So,
years.
yeah. So, what I've so now the government is giving all very, very significant posts to women. And the president is also a woman. We have had two women
Of
presidents. So,
course. Yeah.
yeah. So it's less. It's at a very subtle level, I would say, because the women have a role to play. I'll give you an example that in my younger days, I had, the doziers used to go for picking up. And
Ji. Yes.
now it's not like that. A pre-selection is done and you are appointed. The system is changing, evolved over 40 years. At that time, they used to send the dossiers, marking them as 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was one and I was to be picked up, but I was called by my ministry. And I was
Okay.
told that we have to pick you up, but tell in your dossier, we find you have a 1.5-year-old kid. This job
Okay.
is very, very demanding. Will you be able to do it? We just want to know because you will go through a lot of pressure. I mean, it was in good intent. So I said that there are two aspects. One is I'm a woman, so I can give childbirth, not my
Right.
husband.
Right.
And I'm a mother. It's non-negotiable. But it's
Right.
also a fact that I'm a officer. I will know how to balance the two. And I was selected, and I did a very good job over there. In fact, I got a bit of extension also.
But it was nice that they at least spoke to you about it.
No, no, they were
Sometimes
concerned.
people assume, right?
No, they wanted to tell me about the job profile
Job
basically.
profile. So I want to ask you as a follow-up that when you walk into a room where your voice is in minority, and I'm sure you must have walked into many rooms where probably you were the only woman in the meeting, how do you earn trust and influence without changing who you are? Staying to, what has been your hack? I'm sure it'll help a lot of women leaders who are watching us.
See, the biggest thing which is important, you have to be on top of your work. It doesn't matter whether you're which gender you are, whether you're a woman or a man. When you speak, it has to be with a lot of conviction. You have to
Right.
have your facts and priorities very clear. At the same time, you are not there to get into an argument. You are there to make a point, and you should be able to talk about the larger good which you are proposing, and support it with facts, figures, and maybe at times, if you feel that maybe your perspective would be different from what is likely to be in the meeting, you can even have a side meeting and explain your point of view.
True.
So people are perceptive. So as long as what you are saying has substance in it.
So it is also a combination of knowledge and the way you deliver it. I love the fact that you brought out conviction. If you
Yeah.
don't believe in what you're saying, others won't.
If officer is an officer, it doesn't matter whether you are a woman or a man. You have to have substance, and you have to convince in what you are saying.
Very well put. Very well put. And it aligns with my philosophy when it comes to communication and owning the room. So, since you're going through post retirement, a reflective phase, what do you think is the greatest misconception people have about power? And what have 4 decades in public service taught you about what real power truly is, you know?
People have misconception about power, as I told you, that you can do anything. So like there's something called a court. You can be hauled up. आप ये कर
True.
सकते हैं, आप वो कर सकते हैं, हमें यहाँ पे काम दिला दीजिए, हमें ये कर दीजिए. People think you can do anything, anything arbitrary, including exam भी clear करा सकते हैं. Some people have that misconception. So, which is very, very wrong, because right now everything is very, very organized, transparent, and very fair.
Right.
So power is actually, you can say, in one way it is a misuse of authority, because if you are using whatever has been delegated to you the correct way, that is your power. I would say that you are doing it the right way and contributing to the society and the purpose for which you have been delegated that power, right? So
Excellent.
that so power, in my understanding, would be that you make a lasting impact with whatever you have, whether it is a drop in the ocean, but you have made a beginning in it. There are a lot of people I meet who say that, we had initiated this thing about postal department of post,
Right.
postal banks, postal
Ji.
banks. That bank post office should also work as a bank. So there's someone who had proposed it, and which has fructified now. So it's a very happy thing. Uh,
Right.
there are people who say that we did a lot of work on reducing infant mortality. That
Right.
is power. What did you do exactly to monitor that kids don't die on birth?
To solve a common man's
Yeah.
life, right?
that
So,
that is power. The power is that you are working towards tuberculosis, or you are working towards a transport which is women friendly,
right.
not high steps to climb and things like that. So that is power, where you propose something which is for the larger benefit of the society. It could be immediate benefit, it could be long term benefit, but that is power. Otherwise, power, people perceive as power, is misusing of authority, which is I think incorrect. What is the second part of the question you had asked me?
No, that what real power is, that was the question. And I'm happy that you just completely, given us such a beautiful definition of it. It has to be linked with purpose. Bharti ji, this has been amazing conversation, but I'm ready for a rapid fire. Are you?
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
So, one word answers mostly or one sentence. Let's get started. One quality every aspiring civil servant must cultivate.
Sincerity
Excellent. A
and
decision that
and
tests
integrity and integrity.
and integrity. Okay. The
Uh,
next question is one leadership habit that sustained you through 4 decades of public service.
Leading by example.
Excellent. Authority or influence, which matters more?
They are interconnected, and authority
Okay.
and influence comes from your goodwill.
Right. Touching people's lives and
And no, even goodwill among your colleagues. So
colleagues.
authority, I mean, you are not a complete authority in yourself, and you are not a complete influence in every decision by yourself. So
It's
it comes
collective.
from your goodwill and your reputation, I would say.
Awesome.
Mm.
One unwritten rule of leadership that deserves to be challenged today.
Needs to be challenged, yeah, that you are cut above the others, and you are in a cocoon and you can't be touched.
So true. A leader you've admired and why. Now you'll have to give some
Mm.
name.
Yeah, I'll tell. On a personal plane, it's my father whom I've admired. I take him as my leader, but on a public platform, uh,
Ji.
there are so many, but I would say Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Wow.
He was the missile man, highly educated, accomplished person who was so humble, so modest, so much of
Right.
a people's person that, I mean, it's difficult to be that good. I admire him for that.
He carried that aura with him. So and you must have had a pleasure working with him. So
Not working, but yeah, I met him on.
met him. Your advice to every young woman aspiring to join the civil services.
Don't give up, because once you succeed, there's no looking back. They will all be proud of you. So don't give up. Don't give up on
What
them.
a
Wrap it
what a valuable
up.
lesson. And I think this is going to touch a chord with so many women in different phases of their lives. So, Bharti ji, if you had a journey, your journey had a theme song,
Hmm.
what would it be? And I know you're good at with your voice and a little bit of humming of that theme song.
No, I'm totally besura, so I won't do that. But well, Hindi, of course, it's a very popular song and common song which people say. मैं फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया,
Are
जिंदगी का
wow.
साथ निभाता चला गया. English, Herman Hermit's song is my favorite. It's always on my playlist. Years
Beautiful.
may come, years may go. Some go fast, some go slow. For each one, let's be glad.
Wow. Amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just listening to your thoughts and wisdom. So, my final question for this podcast is beyond the norm, leadership is just fill in the blank.
Touching people's life.
Fantastic. So inspiring, Bharti ji. And I'm so grateful that you could make time for us. And with so much of experience, you've just said so much that I'm pretty sure that not just public servants or civil servants, even the people in corporate or homemakers, everybody has something or the other to take away from your nuggets of wisdom. So I'm very grateful.
I'm so grateful that you have considered to bring me on your show. Really obliged and privileged. Thank you so much.
Any message for the youth who's watching us, the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha?
Live your dreams. It's a must to earn. So if you are passionate, go for whatever you love, but you have to be financially independent. That's very important in life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bharti ji. Hope to see you in Delhi soon.
Thank
And
you.
I will stay
Looking
connected.
forward. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye. Well, dosto, what a power packed episode with so much of knowledge, content. And I hope you enjoyed watching this podcast as much as I enjoyed my conversation with Bharti Das. Well, speaking about bureaucrats, very few bureaucrats, in my experience, have the courage and the wisdom to put together their thoughts so well and be on a podcast like ours. And this was my endeavor to enrich all of our lives. I hope you keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting on the D Show. Don't forget to subscribe as we gear up for yet another episode. And this is Dr. D saying bye. See you again.